Hello, everyone. I'm Jack Fisher. Welcome to my world and welcome to my live stream. It is May the 4th, and if you're a Star Wars fan, you know why that date has importance. So to everyone, every Star Wars fan out there who's celebrating this day, May the 4th be with you. I've been watching Star Wars for years. I'm really glad that we have a day like this. So I'm going to try to dedicate this stream to celebrating Star Wars Day. I'm going to bring in my two friends, Agent-G and Thunder again. We're going to chat a little Star Wars. The Bad Batch just concluded. We've got Star Wars Tales just launched, and of course, we're going to talk a little X-Men '97 with only a couple. It's only a couple of episodes left, but I also do want to kind of just chat a little about when I got into Star Wars, kind of how I've followed it over the years. What I think about what's happened since Disney bought Star Wars. I know there's a lot of touchy issues going on that front. I'm sure Thunder and Agent G will have plenty of opinions too. I'm not going to try to, get into the whole politics of it. This isn't one of those streams where I'm going to try to dunk on the current state of Star Wars or who ruined Star Wars or any of that crap. That's not my style. I just want to kind of talk about where it is now, where we hope it's going to be, and what it means to us. So, all right. So I've been in Discord with some of my friends. So I'm going to bring in G and Thunder. So hold on a sec. Let's start the Discord call. Here we go. Hey guys, can you hear me? Yo. Hold on. Had to replug my earpieces in. You guys hear me? Hey. Wonderful. Okay, so I know you guys have been on my stream before, but go ahead. Could you just introduce yourselves? Yeah. Wonderful. G, my good buddy G. Yep. Yes. And please do check that channel. Actually, G, I made sure I put a link into the description of this stream. So once it's live, everyone's going to be able to see it. So hopefully that'll make it easier for people to find your stream. Because you streamed, what was it, Hell Drivers recently? And yeah. Okay. Yeah. Divers. Yeah, I think I said drivers. I did say drivers. I'm sorry. Yeah. Sorry, guys. Yeah. It does sound like a fun game. Yeah. 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 There are there's some weird things going on with Sony, and I don't want to get too much into that. So yeah, I want to kind of dedicate this stream to kind of two things. One, it is May the 4th. I definitely wanted to do something Star Wars related. Already got some people in the chat. Hey Tevya. So yeah, this morning I actually posted a video on. I kind of said who's the better ruler, Emperor Palpatine or Doctor Doom, and yeah, I had a lot of. It's a video. It's Emperor Palpatine versus Doctor Doom. Who's the better ruler? So. Yeah, that is something I actually, yeah. Oh yeah, and I highlighted that difference a lot. Yeah. Yeah. Doom hit. Yes, it did. Literally. Yeah. And the Galactus too. He's taken Galactus. Yeah. And he still said it was beneath him. That's the craziest thing. Yeah. Yeah, I did actually. Yeah, I did. Trust me, I did highlight in that video quite a bit how Doctor Doom he does care about his people, and Palpatine, caring about his people. That's at the bottom of his priority list, like near the bottom, if not at the bottom. Yeah, 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 yeah. That's possible. He might. Yeah, here's the thing about Doom that I also highlight. One thing that Palpatine does have going for him is that you could argue he has more wins than Doom did, because Doom he's had godhood, he's had like universal domination within his grasp, and he has let it slip. Usually because of a petty rivalry between him and Reed Richards. Like he will literally abandon. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He has that's his thing. He does kind of always drop the ball. As soon as he has a chance to show up Reed Richards, he screws up. But Palpatine, the one thing that I think makes him such a great villain, I do want to talk a bit about some of the books around about him, and is that Palpatine is he's patient. He doesn't he will stay behind the scenes. He will hold back, and Doom is not capable of that. He's incapable of restraining himself. Uh, yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yes, exactly. But that's what makes Palpatine so cunning is he can be patient when he needs to. Yeah, yeah. If you've read any of the old Republic books, which I highly recommend, yeah, Sith are not known for like thinking things through, but Palpatine, he was really he shows he was really capable of like holding back. He was capable of being patient. He was capable of exercising restraint. And the fact that I think that's part of what made him so dangerous is because like there were like all the past Sith lords, if you like read the old Republic books, they jumped the gun the first chance they got, whether it was to assassinate a rival or find a new apprentice. But Palpatine knew how to circumvent that, and yeah, Vitiate. Yeah, that was another. He also great character from the old Republic books. If you again, that's I don't know if they're canon still, but Vitiate. Yeah, and again, Vitiate was like he was kind of like a precursor to Palpatine, but I would argue he wasn't as. I don't think he was as cunning as Palpatine. Yeah. 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 They might. No, no, that was before. That was after the prequel trilogy. That was yeah. I mean, Episode 1, as in the Phantom Menace. Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, because it was like the old. Yeah, yeah. I've actually read one of the books from the High Republic. It's okay, but the old Republic books are much better by a wide margin. So yeah, the old Republic. Well, like if you want to know more about the Sith, and what how they operated, what made them so evil. Yeah, read the old Republic books. Those like they actually like one of the things that you learn about in the old Republic book is like the home planet of the Sith, Droman Cause. I don't know if that's still canon, but yeah, learning about yeah, well even if it isn't, still check out the old Republic books. They are really really good. Yeah. And yeah, but I really do hope. But the thing is, they did take some things from the Legends canon and they made it canon. They made Thrawn canon. Making Admiral Thrawn canon is probably one of the better. I'm glad they did that. Maybe that gives me some hope. I know I'm getting ahead of. It gives me some hope. Maybe they'll grow a pair and they'll bring Mara Jade. And if they bring Mara Jade into Star Wars, that would definitely go a long way towards winning some fans back. It's been out for months. Yeah. Yeah, they are. I mean, yeah. Yeah, I liked Ahsoka, but it's not. But I'd put it the Mandalorians. I put that just a little bit ahead of it. But yeah. But agreed. Yeah. Yeah. Well, Andor kind. Yeah, and they have Andor. Andor actually didn't have any Jedi. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, but he chose not to be a Jedi. So that's another. No, probably not. But yeah. Yeah. I think she. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think the fact they couldn't use animation because animation, the thing about the Clone Wars animation, it allowed them to do more than I think if they had tried to do have them do more, they would have probably pushed the budget up way more than it should have been. But I think they, the thing is, Ahsoka when she came into the Clone Wars, the part of what made it works because they were able to have her and Anakin and Obi-Wan go on all these, high action, flashy adventures, and that kind of, brought out. Why she was such a capable Jedi or a Padawan for most of that show. And yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I could. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's it. Yeah. That's, yeah. Roger, Roger. Roger, Roger. I used to be able to do that voice perfectly when I was younger, and I can't do it anymore. Yeah. The droid voice. Roger, Roger. Yeah. 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 There was actually, yeah, I saw some bunch of guys dressed up as like those droids for Comic Con last year. They had a little march down in the convention center, and yeah, that got a lot of cheers. Yeah, yeah. Oh yeah, Robot Chicken did the best Star Wars parodies. Has anyone seen Gary the Stormtrooper? Gary. Yeah, Gary. He's about Gary. Take your daughter. He took his kid for take his daughter to work day. Yeah, Gary, you promised. Oh, that would have well, been a much shorter trilogy. Yeah, 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 yeah. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I feel it's like that their threat has been kind of diffused, and it is kind of it's kind of hard because Empire needs minions, and those minions can't be too capable. I mean, if they had good aim, it'd be a really short. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's why I think the droids worked a little better in Clone Wars than the Stormtrooper. Yeah, 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 exactly. Yeah, yeah. That kind of that made yeah. Yeah, that makes sense too, pragmatically speaking. And one of the other things that I do like that things like both the Bad Batch and kind of like later seasons of Clone Wars did is they kind of showed the transition of why the Empire moved from droids to stormtroopers. And oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, clones, and then stormtroopers because it kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier about why Palpatine is, he doesn't care about his people, whereas Doctor Doom does. Palpatine, he's not above conscripting people just to get, just, to throw them into the war machine just so they're not a threat. I mean, it feels like, yes. For someone like Palpatine, though, it means the people who might be a threat to him, the people from the way to control the public say, hey, if you don't obey me, I'll draft you into being a stormtrooper. I do feel like that's something tyrants do a lot. Like if they don't care about their people, they don't care about drafting them, putting them in a uniform, and basically making them throwing them into war zones. I mean, that's what a tyrant does. Doctor Doom will not do that to his people, but Emperor Palpatine will, and he won't lose a microsecond of sleep over it. So I do think that was that people have debated. Why would he move away from those? I think what the Bad Batch kind of showed that there is a concern that these characters that these clones could become too capable, and Palpatine doesn't like anything he can't control. So I think that was there was that I think the Bad Batch kind of showed why he didn't trust clones anymore. So that's my thought. Yep. Yeah, crosshairs. Yeah, of course you. Yeah, yeah. I haven't really. Okay. Yeah. Nope. Nope. Sorry. Spoilers. Yeah. Yeah. Omega. Yeah. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. There's a lot of those, but I do like how without spoiling going to too much spoil. I do really like how the Bad Batch sort of how that sort of wrapped things up because a lot of problems with a lot of Star Wars shows isn't so much that they have a lot of good stuff, but with the ending, they very few of them stick the landing, and very few of those endings are kind of satisfying. A lot of them are kind of sad and bittersweet. Like plus, Ahsoka ended on a cliffhanger, and the Clone Wars ended. It had to end with the Jedi losing, but the Bad Batch was a lot more satisfying. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, and it's good that I like it. I like that the Bad Batch didn't end. It ended on an uplifting note. So I like that part. Hmm. Interesting. Yeah. exactly. Yeah, and oh, maybe they'll get another show will answer that. That does seem to be their preferred method. Try to fill in the gaps with like a show, and it's kind of hit or miss. But yeah, exactly. Yeah, that is. Yeah, it's like half the job is done for you. Yeah, then you're not a bounty hunter. You're on a fetch quest. Okay, yeah, yeah, you're right. Yeah, he's basically a golden retriever with a blaster. So yeah, and yeah, with the Bad Batch done, I think we have there's this mini series called Tales of the Jedi that actually has started recently. I think it is. It might be, but I did kind of like there's some of the stuff like the non-canon that Star Wars Visions thing. That was fun. I mean, it wasn't meant to be serious or like to change. Yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things you don't need. It's not. You can skip it if you want, but I just think it's fun. I like the aesthetics. It's you get. Yeah, yeah, with you on that. And but here's one of the things I also wanted to bring up when it comes to because I've seen every Star Wars movie. I kind of got back into it like when the movies were re-released in the '90s. That's kind of when I started keeping up with Star Wars. But of all the Star Wars movies, like if I had to pick one to watch tonight to celebrate, it would be Rogue One. Like I know that's kind of blasphemous for everyone who says Empire is the best, but personally, I feel like Star Wars Rogue One, that movie has kind of won me over as kind of like my favorite Star Wars movie. So that's just me. What about you guys? Hmm. Interesting. Yeah. Well, maybe it'll be their way of filling in the blanks as they try. So it's all right. It's all right. But yeah, yeah. Maybe I'll check that out. But I think if tonight, what my plan is, I'm going to order a pizza and then I'm going to watch Rogue One. That's my favorite. That's my go-to Star Wars movie. Yeah, you're not wrong. Interesting. Yeah, I do. Yeah, like I've seen some. I like watch. There were some people streaming the. Remember the Knights of the Old Republic? That was something else I wanted to bring up when it comes to like pre Disney Star Wars that kind of really expanded on things. Knights of the Old Republic, and what I have right now on my stream. I don't know if you guys are seeing it right now. I've got the Old Republic books that I mentioned. Um, One of them, the single player game is Knights. That's the one with Darth Revan. So yeah, the Old Republic. The Old Republic is the MMO. Yeah, I played that before. It's yeah, yeah. That the Old Republic's okay, but Knights of the Old Republic that's better. It just has a more. It has a better story. That I know, me too. Like if any game deserves a remaster, it's Knights of the Old Republic. That was basically a precursor to like Mass Effect and Dragon Age and everything that BioWare kind of became famous for. Yeah, all BioWare. Yeah, no, let's not go there. But Yeah, Knights of the Old Republic. One of the things that I, after playing that game, actually kind of that's what got me into these books that I have up here. The first one I read was Revan, which kind of expanded on the ending of I think it was I think one of the endings for Knights of the Old Republic, kind of expanded more a bit on Revan and what happened. Um, yes, yes, yeah, he was, and this book kind of covers some of the things that happened in between that, and how how he got captured, what he was up against, who he was up against, and plus it also expands a bit on Emperor Vitiate, the precursor to Palpatine, and so yeah, these books kind of give you a better idea, how that played out. Um, Annihilation is the last one in the series. That this Annihilation, I like this one too. This one actually doesn't have any Jedi in it. I mean, aside from a few from the Sith Lords, it's mostly it's mostly about it's about the son of a Jedi, but he's not Force sensitive, and he's the one who has to stop kind of like the Sith's last gambit to win the war and conquer the Republic. And yeah, it surprised me about how good it was. So I don't know if you've yes, with Starkiller. Yes. Yeah, I would have. Yeah, I wouldn't mind have seeing that too. But I think yeah, Starkiller. He was. I don't think he would work as well. Just because um, even after the sequel, he was still kind of just he was a little flat. He was kind of like a one or two note character. Yeah, the sequel. That's I was going to try. Yeah. Yeah, it was a little buggy first time, but I just still had fun with the first one. I didn't even finish the second one. I kind of gave up. I kind of got bored with it after a couple hours, and I just set it aside. So, yeah, I don't remember where I stopped, but I just remember that I didn't care to finish that game. Yeah, that sounds that doesn't sound like much of a game. It's like half a game. But yeah, I do remember they did try to sort of they used the Force Unleashed to kind of create like a different timeline, like what would have happened if Starkiller had actually killed Vader and taken his spot. That yeah, they had some DLC with that, and yeah, it was dark, but that's pretty much that was all it was really. It was kind of like yeah, I don't think I got there either. I didn't. Yeah, again, I lost interest in that game after in this because of the sequel. Yeah, I don't think I read the comic. Maybe it's on. I'll check and see if it's out there somewhere. But cool. Yeah. Mm. Yeah, that's probably a problem. Yeah, I'm. If it's not really canon, yeah, yeah. Hmm. Uh, yeah. Oh, did you ever guys ever play Rebel Assault on the old late '90s? Like, uh, yeah. Well, I remember that was actually yeah, yeah. It was old CD-ROM game. Well, the thing is, my cousin, I had an older cousin back. This was back in the '90s. He had this bulky setup on his old computer that his mom gave him, and it was actually one she used to use. So he got this joystick that he used to play that game, and I remember I was just watching. Oh, and he was really good at it too. He was the only one I knew who could beat that game start to finish. Yeah. Hmm. Cool. Sounds like a fun Christmas. Yeah, those were games were impossible. Yeah. If they I don't know. I don't remember, but uh yeah. Cool. And yeah. Yeah. I think one of the Star Wars game what about Shadows of the Empire? I think it was an SCNS game or something with Dash Rendar. Yeah. I don't remember. Yeah, I just yeah. Yeah, cuz I think that was around the time when Legends was kind of it was still ongoing, but it had stalled. Like after a while they just kind of stopped expanding on Legends. And to be fair, I don't know how many of you followed Legends, but it got I think after Mara Jade it kind of got messy is probably the nicest thing I can say about it. Yeah, I think that kind of complicated things because yeah, 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 exactly, yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. If you're wondering what G's talking about, I think one of the things the Legends established was that there was this malevolent race kind of outside the galaxy, outside the territories of the Empire, and I think Legends established like that Palpatine knew about it. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, I think Cenobite, is that from Aliens? Oh no, from Hell. Oh yeah, yeah, I think so. That's we. Yeah, that does not fit in Star Wars. Yeah, yeah. That was off. I don't like that because it basically says it essentially makes the argument that Palpatine was right to conquer the galaxy, so we could prepare them for this invasion. I'm like, then that just kind of takes away the fact the fact that he's still a pure evil tyrant, and it kind of makes and it would also it also complicates if you're gonna it makes the case that if you overthrow him, well, then the galaxy's in chaos and they're not ready for this invasion. So that's it just undermines the whole trilogy, and even yeah, I don't think that yet. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Hmm. Yeah, that's actually a good summation of those later legends. It's basically what the fuck is kind of a good that's a good way of putting it because yeah. Hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I do feel like they just did not have a consistent vision for what they were going to do. A lot of those books were just money grabs, and yeah, yeah, yeah. Not unlike the yeah. That's why I'm not surprised they kind of cast out because the Legends timeline becomes so messy, and I do feel like they could have made it work if they just picked the parts that worked like Mara Jade, and but the thing is, of all the plots for them to take in the whole cloning, like Palpatine cloning himself, I don't like that they took that. That was stupid. But yeah. Uh, I think that was like because I don't think that was originally the plan. I mean, didn't Matt Smith get cast as a villain or something? Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, 2019. 2019. Yep. That yeah. That was that sounds exactly like something that happens at 20. Yeah. 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 Uh that was strange times. Yeah, but one of the things also wanted to touch on is where to kind of where does Star Wars go from here? I mean, they haven't released a movie since Episode 9. I mean, what can they do? I know they want to release a Mandalorian movie. Yeah, they have the Mandalorian's still been solid, but what else can they do? Yeah, yeah. I think the Mandalorian it hasn't been perfect, but it's probably been the most consistent, which I know is not saying much. Hmm. Hmm. Yep. Yeah. And hold on, I'm going to bring up. One of the things I also wanted to touch on is some of the back when Star like one of the things I also want to touch on this book that I have on the screen right now. It's another one I wanted to. If you wanted, we were talking about the Emperor, about Palpatine earlier, and him and Doctor Doom. A lot of when I made the video, a lot of the info on Palpatine kind of came from this book right here. Have you either of you read this? The one Dark Plagueis. And I was yes, yeah. What was that? Yeah, go on, G. Yeah, and he liked it, and he thought he found that fun. Yeah, that's why I say he is like as pure evil as it comes. I mean, But the reason why bring up this book is because it really does. This is kind of like if you ever want to create like a pure evil villain, you want to know what it is that basically Palpatine. He checks every box in that regard because it's one of the moments in this book that I thought was really cool is Palpatine. You already mentioned he killed his whole family, but the thing is he was not born like poor or anything. He didn't have any tragedy or anything that made him this way. Yeah, yeah, his father. He was one of the wealthiest families on Naboo, and the thing is, even though he had all this wealth and privilege, his own father says he does not recognize his son. He does not understand. He sees him. He would look into his eyes, and he didn't see someone who shared his blood. He saw like a monster. I mean, he was born a monster. His mother thought he was a monster. And Palpatine, he says, "Yeah, I am, and I like it." It's yeah, yeah. He does exactly. Yeah, 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 yeah. It's yeah, and mhm, yeah, 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 yeah. That is one thing Palpatine is really good at. Like in this book too that I have up, manipulation is even before he started mastering the Force. He knew how to manipulate people, and he was disturbingly good at it. I mean, you get the sense after reading the book, even if he wasn't a Sith Lord, even if you didn't have access to the Force, he would still be a threat. He would still be the monster he is. He always was, and that's what I kind. That's just yeah. He always just seems to he relishes the fact that he's so bad. He knows this, and I do feel like too many times, especially since with whenever Disney tries to direct things, they try to give every like villain like a tragedy or some reason for why they are the way they are. Like they did that with Maleficent, and they've tried doing that in like in their live action remakes, but with Palpatine, that's there's none of that. There's nothing tragic about his backstory. Nothing made him the way he was. And the fact that he was able to he was this bad, he was this evil, and he succeeded as much as he did, and right up to the point where he could not turn it. He could not turn Luke Skywalker. I think that was the first real failure that where you could see in Return of the Jedi he got genuine. That was the first time he got really upset. Like he says, this is not how my plan should have gone, and like you could argue that was kind of like his that was the biggest flaw in his plan. And uh, up until that point, though, he seemed unstoppable. And this book kind of further reading this makes his rise all the more impressive. So that's just why I'm highlighting it. Oh, so that's a sorry. So yeah, that's like yeah. These are even though Legend is defunct, I definitely recommend this book here, Plagueis, and these four Old Republic books. Yeah, yeah. There's yes, I think so. And there's a whole bunch of stuff they did flesh out Plagueis, and but the thing is, Plagueis is basically someone who he thought he was kind of like Palpatine in that he thought he likes to manipulate others, but when you get right down to it, Plagueis, he's just, petrified of dying. He's petrified of, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's pretty much, yeah. But Plagueis, he was less about the Jedi and more about, not dying. And he he was, yeah. Still, Palpatine killed him. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's kind of how it works. Like he says, if anyone's gonna have an more child, it's gonna be me. It ain't gonna be you. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. I think in the old Republic books, yeah, that's the whole reason the rule of two happened is because it was kind of like a safeguard to prevent someone like Palpatine from, essentially trying to, yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah. It worked for a while, but it was, yeah, yeah, yeah. That's not a bad track record. And go ahead, Thunder. Good point. Yeah, yeah. I would say, yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, some of them, like it's some of the recent comics have kind of found there's like a bunch of ancient droids. Yeah, so yeah, there's definitely room for that. And um, one of the other things I was wanted to since I'm kind of talking about some of the books that I liked or some of the other stuff from the past that I've really enjoyed, but I also kind of wanted to chat a little bit about what we'd hope to see moving forward. One thing that I feel like Star Wars needs if they're going to if they're going to keep making movies is they need a better threat than basically a Palpatine ripoff. I know they've got Thrawn. I feel like Thrawn can be a good villain, but I think they need to create something new. Some yeah, yeah. Let Thrawn kind of become yeah, yeah. That'd be cool. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, but that might be the only way to do it after a while. Yeah, like the reason, yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because again, one of the things I don't think they can't keep having like the big threat be just like Palpatine. And I was watching. Have either of you seen the movie Demolition Man from with Stallone? Thunder, have you ever heard of Demolition Man? Yeah, it's the best, one of the best. Oh, it's not just eerily prophetic; it's disturbingly prophetic. That's 1993. No, 1993. Yeah, yeah, exactly. And the reason I bring up Demolition Man is because the villain in that movie, Simon Phoenix, he is another. He's a fun, quirky villain in the sense that he's not like us. He doesn't have this grand vision. He's just kind of like he's just a pure chaotic maniac, and he loves it. Heath Ledger, yeah. I say if Yeah. So I think they need a villain kind of like mix Simon Phoenix, the Joker, and Star Wars. That should be their villain, like a future villain. Let's not have let's not have someone who wants to conquer the galaxy. Let's just have someone who wants to completely destroy it, cause chaos, destroy everything they're building. Just and have fun while doing it. I mean, imagine if give Simon Phoenix his own like his own Death Star and watch how much fun he has. Yeah. No, yeah, that's why you need a new thread. And I think, yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah. There are enough cop shows in the world, in the world anyhow. So, yeah, we need a new threat. And if the threat is going to be someone, if it can't be Thrawn, make someone who's more just delightfully villainous. I mean, yeah. Well, actually, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Oh, by the way, yeah, gee, I'm glad you brought that up because actually, this is something I wanted to share. I don't know. I think might have told you this years ago. If I haven't, I apologize. But back around, I think it was 2014, 2015, I tried writing some fan fiction where it was going to be a Mass Effect Star Wars crossover. My idea was, what if the Reapers invaded, the Star Wars universe, and their goal was to indoctrinate Palpatine, but Palpatine kept trying to, and but Palpatine tried to turn it. Yeah, yeah, but yeah, they would, yeah, yeah. So that was the premise. I started writing that actually, but after just two chapters, I was like, I don't know where this is going. I just lost. I could not figure out how to make it work. But yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, that's another reason why I couldn't get it to work. And yeah, I don't know if I think I may have deleted those files since then, but I tried to do that. I tried to actually create like a Mass Effect Star Wars because I think like the Reapers would be or something like them would be a genuine threat in the Star Wars universe. Um, yeah, that would maybe I should. Yeah, yeah, and plus if that would work better too because in the Mass Effect they also corrupted the Geth. Like there's a huge faction of the Geth were turned to the side of the Reapers. They could have done that to the droid armies too. That would have been an yeah. Could it have worked again? Yeah, yeah. They would yeah. Jedi I think could resist indoctrination. Sith I don't know because Sith are so selfish. They're powerful, but they're selfish and they can be corrupted. But I don't know. Yeah. So could you how do yeah? So could you corrupt that even more? I mean, yeah, because indoctrination in Mass Effect is kind of vague, kind of like how the Force is vague. So I don't know. I never was able to get that story to work, and I don't know if I could ever write it again. But I do. The reason I bring it up is because I think a threat like the Reapers or something like them, that would be the kind of threat that would kind of force Star Wars to evolve because it's something that it's not another emperor or a clone of an emperor or someone just like the emperor. It's something far different. Yeah, yeah. Either you're going to end up in a star. Yeah, yeah. That's true. That's yeah. Or this. Yeah. Yeah, and then yeah, you're dead. Yeah, you're dead. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's yeah, exactly. And that's yeah, they make that same I think that's why it happened. They said the same thing in Mass Effect. They had to use really specific scanners to calculate where they're going to be in Andromeda. So yeah, yeah, there are limitations with star travel, but yeah, yeah, they definitely cheated on that one a bit. I think yeah, Stargate's a little less. That's basically cheating. It's no different. Yeah. Oh, but yeah. So David Deister showed up in the chat. Hey, David. He's been a very irregular. Does hey, just got back from Free Comic Book Day. Yeah, that's another thing. In addition to my uh, Star Wars Day, it's also Free Comic Book Day, and some stuff dropped about the future of the Ultimate Universe, the future of X-Men, the future of Spider-Man, and this a big upcoming DC event called I think it's a event about I think Amanda Waller is going to basically nullify all superpowers for a certain period of time. So yeah, exactly. So that's yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, that do you think that the thing is, do you think Amanda Waller cares? That's exactly why I think it's gonna. It sounds so. That sounds exactly like something she would do. Yeah, exactly. No, yeah. And again, I don't think Amanda Waller. Yeah, Amanda Waller is not doesn't really care about that label. So that's why. Yeah, yeah, they might. Yeah, I don't think that's mhm. You mean you talk about Ray? Yeah, 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 yeah. Who? Yeah. What about? I liked her. Yeah, she was. Yeah, from Lothar. Yeah, and but what about? I originally thought I heard Darth Talon was supposed to show up. She was originally going to be in the Force Awakens, but they cut her out of it. You think Darth? There's still room for some Darth Talon? Yeah, 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 yeah. Put it in in the Discord. Yeah, she's essentially is kind of like a female version of Darth Maul. And yeah, but she was very She was menacing. She actually lasted longer and was more of a threat than Darth Maul ever was. And I think if you could, they could bring her in as a new villain in a future Star Wars movie. That would definitely go a long way compared to expanding. I know she's no yeah yeah. This is yeah. I see her now. Yeah, that's down. Yeah, very yeah, kind of like Killmonger from the MCU. Yeah, she's very thorough. That's another thing that could. Yeah, I would love it if I don't know if Disney would ever would translate her because of her attire. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. I think maybe maybe they're okay with more sex appeal now. I mean, ever since yeah, I think after after kind of some setbacks they've had um, with some of the yeah yeah that could have worked too. Yeah, I can't show these on OBS right now, but yeah, I think that a look like that would definitely get people excited in more ways than one. Yeah, it would work better. Yeah, yeah. Again, Darth Talon. Like, if I had to vote for who the next villain was aside from Thrawn, I would love it if, like, if the next if they had like another trilogy, but it would be Thrawn and Talon, that would definitely go a long way towards bringing some fans back. At least I think so. Yeah, yeah. So it, yeah. So yeah, I'm yeah, we already, yeah, Dave, we actually already talked a little about that. Gee, yep, yeah, if you know what Warhammer 40K, it's basically that. So that's a, anyone what? Tales of the Jedi? Tales of the Jedi, or Tales of Empire. Yeah, my mistake. Yes, yeah, it's fairly new. Yeah, that's some, yeah. That's okay. It's all right. We cover a lot and we kind of go off topic, and yeah, yeah, that's part of the fun of it. Yeah, I don't like to structure these streams in a rigid way. That's not my style. So, but yeah, there's definitely a lot to look forward to in the future. But yeah, with in terms of, I've heard actually that the Russo brothers, the guys behind Avengers Endgame and Winter Soldier, they've been in talks about directing a future Star Wars trilogy. Like they want to actually get into kind of to start just to start something. They didn't say whether they wanted to like continue directly after Episode 9 or just kind of do their own thing. But if you're going to hire someone for big spectacles, I don't see why not. I mean, give them a chance. They also, but some other stuff has been canceled. Like for a while, they were going to do like a Rogue Squadron movie. They kind of nixed that. Apparently, they also nixed. Yeah, yeah. I would have loved to see a Rogue Squadron movie, even if it was just like just like if it was just like yeah, that, yeah. They were going to do. I think they were going to do something with the High Republic, but they canceled that. They have the books, but they don't. Yeah, yeah. I did. Yeah, I read one. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah, that's for sure. And again, that's why the High Republic book that I read was forgettable. I mean, compared to the old Republic stories, but that was the comic. That wasn't the book. Yeah, but that was in one of the, yeah, that was a comic. I read that comic. It was forgettable. It's probably I won't say more about it, but trust me, you're not missing much by not reading that. No, it's worth it. Yeah. Yeah. That was a it kind of feels like someone wasn't sober when they came up with that. Do you ever yeah, people, they talk about, AI is going to start writing this stuff. But when I see what some people write, when when I see stuff like that, I'm thinking, you really, if you're don't be afraid of AI, be afraid of idiots who are allowed to write stuff like that. I mean, don't they have editors? Yeah, 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 yeah. If the AI does a better job than your writers, then you hired some really, really terrible writers. Like, maybe, yeah, that, yeah. Yeah, they have no credibility at this point. That's the problem. They got to find a way to win it back. And I think that's why they really, I really hope they say, well, okay, we'll bring Mara Jade in, or we'll bring Darth Talon. That would help. Wouldn't fix everything, but that would help. Yeah, what's in the yeah. Yeah. The story, I'm not sure. The animatics. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they mixed it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Or they just, yeah, they just dropped, or just dropped for like, yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, yeah. We'll see. Yeah, we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, anything else on Star Wars later before we move to X-Men '97? Because I do want to talk about that a bit. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just other than, tales of yeah, Tales of the Empire, and we don't have much else. But, other than the Bad Batch just finishing up, and I guess since Thunder hasn't seen it, I don't want to spoil too much. Yeah, it is finished. Yeah, and but yeah, there's until we get some more news about the future. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But right now, in a, X Men '97 is definitely worth talking about. We're down to the last two episodes of the first season. So first off, Thunder, gee, have either you both of you seen episode 8? Excellent. So yeah, no, so yeah, I won't have to worry about spoilers here. Just one, yeah, 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 yeah. Full disclosure, I woke up at 3 a.m. to watch it. Yeah, that's that's me. That doesn't give you, that should give you an idea of how big an X Men fan I am. So, what was that? Right now it's 2:45 p.m. here. I know you're in you know it's different for you. But yeah, so yeah. You know, but still worth it. Totally worth it. These past two episodes, both Bright Eyes and Tolerance's Extinction, they have really helped raise the bar. And I really do kind of like how they've set up Bastion as the big bad here because he kind of like the show. Well, I don't know how many people are familiar with the comics, but in the comics, Bastion was kind of a creation of when I think it was Nimrod and Master Mold went through the Siege Perilous, which is this that's big. That's something a part of like cosmic Marvel. That's something that's kind of on that's like some Beyonder level stuff. And but they kind of did things differently here in the show because what they did is, do you guys? I don't know how if you saw seen the original series, but in season 4 they had these two episodes called One Man's Worth. You remember those episodes? That was the one where they had Storm and Wolverine married. So yeah, so what happened was Nimrod, when he was destroyed back then, he left some parts of himself behind, and essentially he was essentially reborn as a human, as a as a young boy named Sebastian. In fact, it was one of the showrunners of the show actually showed some clips and some screenshots of One Man's Worth. They actually showed if you watch that episode, you can find the woman who would be Bastion's mother. So yeah, they did kind of simplify Bastion's origin in this latest episode. They didn't have the whole Siege Perilous thing. What they did was they kind of set it so Bastion is basically he's like the perfect blending of Sentinel and man, and that's kind of what he was in the yeah. What was like nanobot, techno organic, yeah. They had Bastion, yeah, 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 a technopath. Yeah, don't tell him that. Yeah, technopath. Yeah, yeah. But so yeah, that's kind of part, and it also kind of builds in like the whole techno organic virus that was brought up in I think in episode 3 with Madeline and Sinister. So this is yeah, that's kind of yeah, yeah. I was going to get to that. Oh yeah, that would be a hell of a cliffhanger because Rachel actually did show up briefly in in this latest episode. It was a vision of the future. Yeah, yeah. So I have, we can speculate on that in a bit, but in terms of I like that they've made Bastion sort of the big bad here. He's kind of been lurking behind the scenes. He's been, setting himself up, putting himself in a position to essentially finish what Master Mold couldn't, or what Nimrod couldn't, and it's a threat that they haven't faced before. I mean, he was behind the Sentinel that attacked Genosha. He's been helping Sinister, and he is definitely he's definitely a major villain, and he was a huge threat in the 90s because what happened with him was actually tied to what I think is going to the next two episodes are going to he's closely tied to what happened with Onslaught. So I don't know how familiar you guys are with Onslaught in the comics. He's this guy, right? He's this happy looking fellow right here, and Yeah, and this entity is super. Yeah, yeah, it was stupid. Oh yeah, it was really stupid. Yeah, Heroes Reborn was awful, and it failed. Oh god, it was awful. But the less said about that, the better. I'll just say that Onslaught as a threat, that kind of feels like what they're building towards, because you know the last episode ended with Xavier returning. He's back, and it also and we already saw, Magneto. He has a very good reason. He's done. Yeah, episode 2. They said don't make me let you down. Well, after what happened on Genosha, yeah, I don't. The gloves are off. He is not going to. Well, well, I get the sense that maybe Bastion made it so he had to survive, because Bastion was using him. He won. So yeah, the fact that that Bastion had him captured, that gives me the sense that Bastion never intended to kill him. He wanted to use Magneto in some other way. So maybe that's kind of what's setting. Yeah. No, that'd be an interesting twist. Yeah. So, but yeah. And it does kind of. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, because based on with the last, I think there was this moment where I think Beast was trying to find out how many of them there were, and apparently like they're all over the world. This is kind of what happened with in the comics with Operation Zero Tolerance, and yeah, yeah. That if that's the case, then that would that would yeah, yeah. They're like zombies. Yeah. Yeah, zombie cyborgs is probably the best way to put them. Zombie cyborg sentinels. Yeah. 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 Exactly. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I do know some Doctor Who there's a bunch of I think X-Men writers who are also Doctor Who fans, so maybe that's where they got some of the ideas from. Yeah. Uh, that's never works. Why not? Yeah. Well, why could yeah? It sounds like they're trying to too hard to be like Rick and Morty. Uh, it's kind of like that Family Guy joke where Peter's like, "My name is Pete Tier," and a griffin flies through and goes, "Griffin." That little yeah. If Family Guy makes sense of it, then yeah, that's a problem. That's a bad sign. Oh yeah. That's yeah. Rather not get into that. But you know, with yeah, yeah. He's had some good moments, and he had some good moments, and he's a fun background character though. That's what I like about him. He's been fun. He's kind of a good comic relief character. He's not as like then again, yeah, if the original series he already kind of went through a really difficult arc where he's kind of getting over the trauma of what happened to him. So I feel like he's had his yeah, he did have his arc in the original series, but yeah, you're right. He hasn't had a chance to do much else here. Maybe he'll get a chance in season 2, but yeah, yeah, maybe he'll get a chance these next 2 episodes. But for these next 2 episodes, what? Yeah, yeah. Well, I think Morph was started in the animated series, then he came to the comics. Or correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, yeah, yeah. There was a different version of him. Yeah, so yeah, there's a lot. Yeah, Morph could definitely have a role. We just don't know. Well, with these next 2 episodes, I think the one thing I think it's leading towards. I made sure I saved this one. Does anyone remember this panel right here? This iconic moment when Magneto ripped the adamantium out of Wolverine. That comic, he better save that comic because this was actually cited by one of the writers from the show. Yeah, yeah. Well, I do have. Yeah. Well, anything that has Operation Zero Tolerance and is probably going to go up in value because this moment particularly was cited. Now, the reason why this moment is actually important is because when Magneto ripped the adamantium out of Wolverine, that kind of is what made Charles Xavier to kind of just, stop holding back. This is when he attacked Magneto's mind like way more than he had ever dared before. And it was the kind of this moment that led to Onslaught. So if I have to make Yeah, if that would be a hell of a way to end it. And I do think that maybe if it's not the next episode, it might be the finale where Magneto and Xavier kind of have this big showdown where essentially Magneto, he's done. He said like the end. He said just enough. That was the only word he said in the last episode. He is not going to after what happened on Genosha. I don't think he's going to show any mercy. And if he's not stopped, I'm pretty sure he'll wage the war by himself if he has to. And if I think if the X-Men try to stop him, this might end up happening to Wolverine. And if this happens to Wolverine, yeah, I think maybe that's where they got that from. But that's actually something that happened in Zero Tolerance. I don't know if you've read, but yeah, what he did that actually did happen in Operation Zero Tolerance in the '90s. So that's not just from Ultimatum. Yeah, in the Ultimatum he flipped the poles, but in Operation Zero Tolerance he used his powers are like at their strongest when he's at one of the poles. So that's why he went there. So what's going to happen? What happens from here is we already know season 2 is happening. So my prediction from here is I think it looks like they're setting up Onslaught, and I think that could lead to in season 2 a version of House of M, but instead of Wanda rewriting reality, I think maybe Onslaught will be the one who rewrites reality. He remember him and when he was fighting Franklin in the original comics, they helped create the whole Heroes Reborn universe. So maybe they can make that. Maybe something happens in this fight. It depends on kind of what form Onslaught takes. Because they haven't shown the Scarlet Witch at all in the series, but if they're going to have, but Onslaught has shown in the comics he is capable of warping reality. Like there have been versions of him that have been able to travel. Okay, so maybe maybe if he tries to absorb Cable, or he tries to absorb, there is a way he might be able to if Onslaught shows up and he wants to, he needs more power to kind of end it. No. Yeah. Yeah, I've actually I've read that. Yeah. Yes. And like zombie Wolverine, he's oddly I think zombie Wolverine. Yeah. I don't disagree. Yeah. 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 Yeah, well, they have teased some Phoenix. Yeah, they have check out Rep and X-Men. Gee, that's kind of what we're referring to. But yeah, that would be, yeah, he would be a top level villain, but that's another theory that I might have. They've hinted at the Phoenix in this show, like in episode 3 when Jean was battling Madeline in the astral plane. There were some signs of the Phoenix in there, so that leads me believe, if let's say Onslaught is somehow he somehow forms in the final episode, and he wants more power. It's, if they're not going to use Franklin Richards or Nate Gray, he might try to find another source, and that might be what he uses to rewrite reality and to set up House of M. Because I think season 2, because I just don't see this season as ending on a very happy note. I do think it's going to end with some sort of big, not just a death, or some kind of big universal shakeup, something that's going to force the X-Men to either, change how they do things, or it does seem that they're kind of setting up joining with other Marvel heroes. Captain America showed up in a while back. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That might be something they have to do if they're going to have to. If they're going to, maybe like the final episode will be sort of like an Endgame style battle, or maybe something or Infinity War, maybe even. I'd be shocked if he didn't, because they did. They definitely are going to want to do some synergy for the upcoming movie. I mean, yeah, because Deadpool only showed up like briefly when morphed into him in the original series, but yeah, maybe Deadpool will actually like visit briefly the X-Men '97 series. Like maybe that'll be in the movie. I can totally see, like in Deadpool and Wolverine, he briefly shows up in X-Men '97. Like, oops, wrong universe. Oh, by the way, people, check on Disney Plus. Yeah. So we'll see, but yeah, I do kind of feel like this is all leading towards some kind of House of M. And also, David mentioned in the chat that the possibility of Avengers versus X-Men, having that be. I think that's actually that's likely. I think I think in season 2, it's going. I think it's going. Yeah, no Secret Invasion. After that show, no, I can't. I cannot support Secret Invasion. I no, dude, don't even joke about that. Do not joke about Inhumans versus X-Men. Oh, oh man. So okay, that yeah, I can tell you that, yeah, the mid 2010s were traumatizing for X-Men fans, but yeah, I do think, yeah, they're going to set up some here's what I think it's going to lead to. I think first we're going to have a version of House of M, and in that story, we're going to have it's essentially going to lead to it's going to lead to mutants being depowered, and like I think I could see like towards like the first half of season 2 is going to be House of M, and then them finding out, hey, reality was rewritten, we got to save reality, but then there's a no more mutants moment, and kind of like for the rest of the season they're trying to figure out how do we repower all the mutants, and maybe that leads to a version of Hope Summers, maybe that leads to like a new version of the Phoenix coming up, and the X-Men want to use the Phoenix and the Avengers want to stop it because they say, hey, this thing kind of destroys planets, we don't really want to deal with that, but yeah, that could. Yeah, we did see Vulcan. Yeah, he didn't say anything. Yeah, that sounds very plausible. But the rise and fall of the Shi'ar Empire. That was I believe that was 12 issues. I'm pretty sure it was 12. But yeah, I do remember that. But I do feel like if they're going to do something with the Shi'ar, I don't think they're gonna try to condense it like they did with like Inferno. But I would love it if they used that to kind of bring back the Summers family, like you saw in. Well, her body might be dead, but her mind might. uh, I can hear them. Let's see. Hold on. I can hear you. Hold on. Let me break. What about now? Okay. Yeah, I can. Yeah, Warlon, if you
Oh
can't.
yeah, we're not on this. What the fuck?
I can hear you.
No, like on the stream.
Have we literally just been talking for about nearly 2 hours? Just you.
If we can't hear you, then I might have to delete this stream. But oh crap, that'd be
God.
stupid. Okay,
No, I can hear it. Like,
you can hear it, G. You can hear yourself.
yeah, I went to the stream right now. Like, I like the stream, but it's muted because I don't want to echo. But it's okay. It's on his end, or probably.
Okay, yeah. Well, I could hear. So
Yeah, because like I tested it. Like, yeah, I could see her. So
all right. Yeah, I don't know if you can
why did
test.
Thunder mute him?
Oh, Thunder, are you muted?
Thunder, oh, maybe he's testing the. No, wait.
Yeah, I was just being quiet just to make sure it's no echo.
Okay, but yeah, can you hear yourself? Were you able to hear yourself on the stream?
I heard my.
Oh, yeah, he's muted again. Sorry.
Yeah, like I tested it, but now the guy says like I can hear you. So yeah, okay.
Okay, good. Yeah.
I was like, did we just talk for like who knows how long without like only you talking to like basically yourself? It sounds like you're having a one-man conversation.
Yeah, if that's the case, I would probably have to delete it. But hopefully,
I don't know how that would work. Like how would you split the audio for something like that?
Yeah, that'd be.
like that.
But
Okay.
can you hear it? Yeah, is it working?
Yeah, I can hear it. Yeah, it was working.
Oh, so good. Yeah, I'll have to backtrack and see if yeah. I'll listen to this after we're done, and I will try to.
I mean, I heard myself, so it sounds like it was fine.
Okay, sounds good. And yeah, we'll kind of get. Yeah, I don't know why Warlon, while I was hearing. By the way, Warlon, he was on one of my last streams. So whenever X-Men '97 once the final episode airs, I'm definitely going to do a nice long stream, kind of like maybe I'll do it. I don't know if I'll be able to do it the day of, but I'll definitely try to put something together.
I would love for Bishop to show up right before the end, and then Scott having a go at him saying, "What did you do to my son? We told you to look after him, and you lost him halfway through the time tunnel, or whatever it is." I
actually have a theory about that. I suspect that Rachel is the reason why they were separated.
Well, don't they kind of explain it in the last episode where he was trying to saved them all on Genosha, and he kept getting pulled back out of the time.
No. What we were talking about is why he split from Bishop, not you can't like
No, I
change
reckon
6 points.
that was the same reason why he got split from Bishop.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
I don't see how, like, unless it's like, well, it said a fixed point you can't change, but like,
Yeah,
because it would
be a fixed point.
a canon event. Yeah, it's kind of like a canon event from Spider-Verse. That's what I think. That's how they talk, how they describe it. Because because kind of like when the Watcher showed up before Genosha, that's kind of like a sign. Okay, this is a canon event; it cannot be changed, and that's how. Like I think Cable mentioned, he tried to change it, and he couldn't. No matter how many times he did, it kept happening, no matter what he did. So, yeah. Yeah, that'd be maybe. Yeah, could that have been Rachel? Maybe because in the comics, I think Rachel was the reason why well, I don't know, not that version of Rachel. Like you saw the glimpse of like Rachel with he had her hound marks. Hope Summers? No, they haven't. Yeah, I think it's more likely that they would. I think it's much more likely that they would go. They would have it so that Rachel might be like kind of in the distant future. She has a version of the Phoenix, and I think they called. She had like Mother Ascani or something like that, and. Yeah, probably. Yeah, but the fact, but okay, if they could do that, I would definitely go a long way. But something tells me they're probably not going to be an hour, but they may be like 35, 40 minutes, maybe because like the Bad Batch's finale was, I think that was almost an hour. That might be, yeah. Yeah, it worked. Yeah. If it works, then yeah, I'm all for it. But yeah, if I just feel like the end of season one is just going to be a kind of like a cliffhanger for season two. Like I feel like both these two seasons they were kind of written together, so I don't see how this. Yeah, that sounds about right. Yeah. Oh, that'd be cruel, but it'd be totally something they would do. Yeah. Or maybe they kind of try to have like a cliff. Yeah. Yeah. Or maybe like a version like yeah, that would make sense because Apocalypse did come back, I think, in season 5 of the original show. And yeah. No, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. Yeah, I think that if Apocalypse does come back, it's not going to be just to redo Age of Apocalypse. They already kind of did that with One Man's Worth. So I don't know if they would do that again. Yeah, yeah, that's what I think that's what. Yeah, I think that yeah, because he became he became Death in the Death Horseman in the comics. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he was. Yeah, 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 and he did it anyway. Yeah, and he's yeah. So it was yeah. But I think that if they're going to bring him back, that's how they're going to do it. They're going to use Apocalypse. So, but yeah, yeah, yeah. He's basically immortal, so there's no way they. I don't see why they couldn't. But yeah, yeah. He always, yeah. Yeah, he thing is he's enhanced himself so much over the centuries with technology and with his mutation that he's not he's not like a god like an Odin level god, but he's as close as you can get. So, well, oh, share it. The legacy virus. That was the legacy virus. Yeah, but they already did that. That was in Time Fugitive. They already did that. They already did. No, they already did the legacy virus, dude. They did it in the Time Fugitive episode. I think they would because they remember in the second episode they basically here in America they kind of referenced the January 6th riots. So I think they would totally be willing to do that. So I am certain. Yeah, yeah. Time lag. You're not. You're not. I can hear you both. Yeah. How? Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's a universe with Mystique. Yeah. I don't think that would stop them. Yep. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. I do think. Yeah. The fact that they're yeah. 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 So that's interesting strategy. Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of like those Sentinels we saw in the Days of Futures Past movie. Yeah. 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 Which one? Yeah. I'm pretty sure we'll get that. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, there's probably I've heard it's supposed to be hyper violent, super bloody. It's everything Deadpool that you'd expect Deadpool to engage in terms of over the top violence. So I'm all for that. I think that will definitely help the box office there. And I, but yeah, I'd be shocked if at least there wasn't one X-Men '97 reference in that movie. Yeah, yeah. I guess even yeah. I do kind of like that they're willing to be that meta with this show. They know that they know they're where the audience knows. They know where they stand, and I think. Yeah, exactly. Someone's recommended. Have we seen Strafe at all? And I don't think we've seen Strafe in the Strafe. Yeah, clone of yeah Strife from Strife. Sorry. Yeah, I was saying it wrong. Sorry. Strife. Yeah. Strife's a clone of Cable that is Apocalypse made evil. Yeah, that guy. Yeah. Well, he's. I think so. That was a couple years ago. Yeah. Yeah, I remember. Oh, yeah, I remember that. That was shortly after House of M. I mean, House of X. So yeah, that's actually might be something. If they take this, if X-Men '97 keeps going after season 2, I think it's eventually they're going to get to some version of House of X, Powers of X. So yeah, maybe we'll see Krakoa at some point, and I would like that. I would like them to do a version of Krakoa in this show. I think that would be an interesting little way for the show to evolve. But I just hope that it ends better, because I don't know if you guys have been following the comics lately. The end of Krakoa looks like it's going to be just awful. Like it. Yeah, the less said about that. Yeah. Yeah, well, there was actually a plan. I don't know, Thunder, if you heard of this, but back during like the early 2000s when Grant Morrison was still writing, one of his ideas was to turn this Xavier into a school for both humans and mutants, not just mutants. So there would have been a human population. Yeah, which didn't work out. Kid Omega, Quentin. Yeah, right at Xavier's. Yeah, so that's an idea. I wish they would have. Yeah. That would have been a good idea to explore. I mean, they could have done that with Krakoa too. Start letting humans become citizens of Krakoa. That would have been a good way to. That would have caused a lot of conflict, but they're just throwing it away. I don't think that they necessarily have to, but. They've found ways around it. Like one thing I like about X-Men '97 is they found ways to adapt, some of those less savory stories in a way that's more palatable. Like when they had Madeline visiting her and Cyclops meeting on the astral plane, I feel like that was a lot that made Cyclops a little less scummy. Yeah, because essentially, he wasn't cheating. I mean, Madeline is Jean. By pretty much every measure. And yeah. She's you. Yeah, she's you. Yeah. She's basically her. Yeah. Yeah, that would. Yeah, that's gonna. Although that's an interesting. Exactly. Yeah, that. Yeah, much less justified than the comics. Yeah, yeah. There was. Yeah, but the other ones we couldn't see. But Madam Hydra or Viper, I don't know if they're the same. Yeah, it kind of sounds like that they would totally fund someone like Bastion. So Yeah.
Some sort of redemption thing, but I'm like, lady, the guy you're working with committed genocide and is working with some of the most evil people on the fucking planet. You do what? At what point did you realize? Oh God, we're the baddies.
Are we the baddies?
Yeah.
I remember that. I remember. So yeah, I think it is leading. Eventually, it's going to be leading to. It's leading to Onslaught, but the fact that they were able to tackle some of those touchier Grant Morrison era stories, I feel like if they're gonna find a way to make those work. So we'll see.
Here's a question. There seems to be someone with Bastion. Looks like she's in a schoolgirl uniform. Dark, bold.
What?
Is that Omega Sentinel?
I think so. I'm not sure. I think I know who you're talking about, but I am not entirely sure.
Yeah, I did a image search. It's one of the. Wait, why does this character have like several different styles? It's like she's like almost looks like Indian with like long dark hair, and then she's like got red skin, bald.
He's bald in this one.
Yeah, I think that's Omega Sentinel.
Oh, there's Doom.
Yeah. Yeah, Doom is definitely.
She's like red, and others like they make her like looks like she's more Indian, and others she's like more African. Like what the fuck? Like pick a like I've never seen a character design so radically different and by different artists.
Interesting. Well, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, the thing is, as X-Men '97 is ending, like the Krakoa era is ending in the comics, and it's not ending on a very high note. Like I've been, it feels like they are really rushing to end it because I feel like they're trying to relaunch the X-Men comics to make way for, I think what's happening in Deadpool and Wolverine. They want to have a clear slate, so to speak, which kind of dumb, and kind of the fact that they're forcing it is kind of a like Afro said in the like what if what if they let Hickman do his original, because Jonathan Hickman, he started the Krakoa era, but he wasn't able to finish it. He kind of left halfway through. So be interesting to know what his
never leave work up unfinished, please.
Yeah.
Someone will come in and ruin it.
Yeah. It's kind of like how Invincible, like that comic had a clear start, beginning, middle, and end. And that was that was something that made it unique.
Well, do you know how to get a good ending? Well, a good ending or a good beginning in a story?
Yeah. I don't think anyone does.
You start with the end and make your way backwards.
Yeah. Now, it's hard to do in comics because it's serialized.
Yeah, and you tend to have like different
They did
like
that
people writing and drawing and stuff. So
first, and then they made their way forward.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why like a lot of times like you see a lot of people like getting into manga and stuff just because like it's just the one guy who in his one vision who's doing it.
Yeah.
So you don't get like all these new people just showing up and like doing their own thing. Also doesn't have like decades long. Well, unless it's like one of the things like One Piece or like Hajime no Ippo where it's like over 1,000 issues.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it is a lot. It's like very rarely do I get that long.
I remember watching the first one of that. That was back in 1999.
Yeah, I do remember. Yeah, I think with like One Piece in particular has both the anime and the manga are massive in terms of just sheer volume of content. But the thing is, at least they've kind of had they've always had like a singular vision. Like the creator has always been involved. He was even involved in the show.
Yep.
But with comics, especially with Marvel, there's always a lot of conflicting. Like famously, editors have kind of stepped in and stopped things. Like the original Phoenix Saga was not supposed to end the way it did. Chris Claremont, the writer, he already had an idea for it. Jean wasn't supposed to originally die in that. He was forced to kill her off by Jim. I think the editor at the time was Jim Shooter. And yeah. Yep, that's his name. I actually met the guy once. at Comic-Con. So yeah, he forced Chris Claremont to do that, and same thing happened later when when Jean came back. That was something Chris Claremont did not want to have happen, but he did. But this happens a lot too with Grant Morrison. He originally did not want to use Emma Frost. He wanted to use Storm and Colossus with his team, but Marvel said no, you can't use him. So he kind of settled for Emma. That's why she had that diamond skin thing. So that power was all her. So it is going to be a. I don't know what they're going to do with Emma because she survived the what happened on Genosha, but she didn't join the team like she did in the comics. So what are they going to do with her?
Massachusetts Academy?
Maybe, yeah. She's sort of version of the Hellions, or maybe she'll like to.
Well,
yeah, we'll see.
Jubilee goes over there.
Yeah,
because that's what she did in Generation X.
Yeah, she could do that, but I don't know. I suspect that my current theory, if I had to guess right now, is Emma Frost. If she has a role, it's going to be somehow involved in House of M. Like I don't think she's going to play a role in these next 2 episodes, but I think in season 2. She's going to have some role in whether it's House of M or whatever happens afterwards. Something she's going to try to play. She's going to take a side, and it's going to be a probably like.
Didn't her diamond form in Generation X? Did she?
No, she didn't. She didn't get that until E is for Extinction.
Maybe they'll just go right to Astonishing.
Yeah.
Break well and all that lot.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think but maybe I think with Emma Frost, I don't think they're going to try to make her too much of a hero because Emma doesn't work when she's either too much of a hero or too much of a villain. Yeah, she's in it for herself, and I like that. I like that they did
all the time because when she was working with the Hellions, like. When they got killed in Genosha, that broke her because she actively does care for her students.
There is that, yeah. But at the same time, she is
not in that fate though at the moment.
Yeah.
Once more for the children.
I do feel like
because remember she had a really shitty family life.
Oh yeah, like if you haven't read Emma Frost's solo comics, definitely check it out. That does explain a lot of why she is the way she is. But I also think that.
But it also shows she wasn't she didn't start out this way, and she's you can see why she's not 100% evil. It's just how life kind of shaped her this way, and she just kept making some questionable choices.
Yeah,
but she does care for her students 100%.
Yeah, but we haven't seen
she will fight to the death for them.
We haven't seen any of that play out in X-Men '97 yet. She was in the original series. She was just the White Queen for the Phoenix saga.
I think Genosha is going to be the turning point for her character, where she slowly gets her redemption arc.
Maybe that'll play out in season 2. I think I could see her joining Magneto at first, but eventually turning on him when he goes too far, as he often does.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Magneto becomes the new White King or Grey King, as he once claimed at the Hellfire Club.
Oh, that could work.
Which he would do.
He would totally do.
Hellfire members died, so
they need a king, and if
what if he takes over the New Mutants training, like Roberto, Cannonball, Magma, Raimi,
and with Emma Frost maybe as the head? Yeah, they could do that. I could think.
Yeah, and Magneto as the headmaster.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me. What if if one way maybe he gets mind wiped or something before, or maybe yeah, because that did happen in the comics too. I think Xavier he's mind wiped.
What happens is there's going to be some big ass battle. Xavier's going to have to do something with Magneto to basically. I think that maybe at one point did Magneto kind of get his memories wiped and he became kind of someone else for a bit.
He did, yes. He did, yes.
So maybe that's what they're going to do. Xavier's going to okay, I have no choice. I can't kill he's my oldest friend. I can't kill him.
Ultimate.
This is the only thing I can do, and just kind of wipes out the Magneto personality and becomes just some random dude just not aware of who he is or what. Yeah. Until it slowly starts to break down and he starts to remember over time.
Wasn't that Ultimate X-Men?
That wasn't just an Ultimate. It happened in Ultimate, but it also happened in the mainline comics too.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, I know it happened in Ultimate, but I think it's good. Yeah. I think it will. Also in Ultimate, Magneto's he faked Magneto's death. I think in Ultimate, which pissed off a lot of people for. But then again, everyone in Ultimate's kind of an asshole. Everyone, except for like Ultimate Spider-Man, but in the old Ultimate comics, every character was an asshole.
Here we go again.
Yeah,
Actually, I think
I never
Cyclops
read
was
that.
actually not that bad, like in that one, because he got a lot of shit dumped onto him, like especially with what
Oh.
Logan did to him.
yeah, there was that, but
Gang war got me
Yeah.
into Spider-Man.
And I think Storm was okay.
Yeah.
And,
Although-
and Beast.
did you? I don't know. Did you read what happened? What they did in the later, like in the post-Ultimatum comics, because they kind of didn't.
Oh no. Like as soon as Ultimatum happened, like I dropped every book
Well-
of Spider-Man. But then when he killed them off,
they
like,
they
oh,
kind of
fuck it.
they kind of became assholes. Even Storm kind of became an asshole after.
Of course.
Yeah. So yeah, hate to break it to you, yeah, but pretty much everyone in Ultimate ended up as an asshole, and even if they didn't start off that way, it really ended worse. But
I mean,
No.
hell, Richards probably ended up being the biggest of all when he became the Maker.
pretty much, yeah, and he's the only one. He and Miles are the only ones who survived. So, oh yeah, there's a lot we could say about the Maker.
Oh, I guess that means we just have to wait until Miles becomes an asshole then.
Oh well, you never know.
He's the last one. He's the only one left. So he's
Yeah.
the only one who hasn't become an asshole yet.
Well, hopefully he doesn't. At least one. There has to be at least one non-asshole from that series. Yeah. So the other, the other theory I have is I do think that the next episode, I think we're going to get some kind of version of. I don't know if you remember from the Adventures of Cyclops and Phoenix, where I think it was Rachel who helped Jean and Cyclops send their minds to the future so they could raise baby Cable. Because I think that the fact that they never got a chance to raise him, I think that's going to be sort of how they complete that arc at some point.
Well, that would explain why Madeline in the comics wanted to know everything about Cable.
Oh yeah, from that dark web.
and everything. That would explain that and why she wanted the memories of that
Yeah,
herself.
dark web. Yeah, that was great.
Wait, has young Cable actually met Madeline yet in the comic series?
Don't think
he
so.
met
No.
a version. Well, no, I'm thinking of Nate Gray. Sorry. The guy X-Men, the one from Age of Apocalypse. That's what I was thinking of.
Yeah.
When you said young Nate or young Cable, that's immediately where my mind kind of goes to.
Yeah.
I forgot that there's actually a young Cable.
Yeah,
now.
they're actually there's a Cable solo series going on right now where old Cable is with his younger self.
Yeah.
And they kind of worked together. They teamed up on a kind of a side mission for Fall of X, and don't know where he's going to end up afterwards. But I do like that they're letting young Cable kind of grew on me. He was a bit more less. He was less of a loner, but he wasn't as kind of jaded as old Cable was. Like you can understand why old Cable's kind of the way he is. He's been traveling time. He's been fighting so many wars. He's jaded. Young Cable's a little more willing to not close himself off. So I do kind of like that about him, and yeah, it'd be interesting to see if they try to adapt some version of Adventures of Cyclops and Phoenix in these last two episodes, at least because they did kind of show some of those family moments in the episode where there was that one scene where Jean says, "No, fasten your seatbelt." Kind of, she starts babying him.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she also had that really nice moment with Nightcrawler where she says she still remembers being pregnant with him, even though it was Madeline, which makes me wonder. Maybe there's a part of. Even though Madeline died, her body died, maybe part of her mind is somehow still out there.
It's hard to tell because it's like, where does one begin and when the ends kind of thing.
Yeah, that is going
We
to...
still don't know.
Yeah.
We still don't know how the switch happened, do we?
No, maybe we'll find that out in the next couple episodes because, Sinister's still involved. At some point, I think they're going to confront Sinister again. And maybe he'll... I don't know. I'm kind of split. I don't think they're going to reveal when the switch happened this season. Maybe they'll do it next. I don't think they're going to do it this season. That's my gut feeling. I don't know what you guys think.
Hard to tell.
Will season 2 be out next year or the end of the season?
We don't know. Yeah, but we just know it's happening. Apparently, the
in
voice
the
actors,
works.
the voice actors already said they've recorded their lines, and the guys who do the music say they've already, submitted the music. So the people who have been working on the show say it's they're making it.
Afro's asking about the Peach Monaco's Ultimate X. Is that the new one?
Yeah, and no, I don't want to talk about that. I fucking hate that.
There's your answer.
No,
There's your answer.
no, fuck that, dude. Yeah, that's
I saw the art and I'm like, this is X-Men?
no.
Question mark?
Jack hates it.
Yeah, yeah, seriously, fuck that. Fuck
Did
that
that get
comic.
any better with the other issues, or does it just keep going?
No, the second
Like,
issue is basically
as
is the exact same fucking story as the first issue. Literally beat for beat. It's the same fucking thing, and the only difference is this new character they have, Maystorm. She does a little bit more, but she doesn't really affect much. I mean, if you took her out of the story, it would play out the same way. That's how bad it is.
Sounds like they're making this like either an anthology book, or maybe they're just like doing one, like every issue is going to focus on every new member of the X-Men and then bring them together.
I don't think they have a vision for it. Like, I get the sense that if it's not Ultimate Spider-Man, they don't care. Like, I think the only reason this new Ultimate universe exists is so I think Jonathan Hickman can write this version of Ultimate Spider-Man that he's been trying to make. So, I could say a lot about it because Ultimate Spider-Man has been great. It's been getting a lot of printings, and it's been outselling Amazing Spider-Man by a comfortable margin. In fact, the first issue of Ultimate Spider-Man got a sixth printing.
It's a menace. Don't buy it.
Yeah, but I think their only reason, I think the fact that it's selling so well is just more of an indictment of how bad the current Spider-Man comics are. So, yeah.
I wonder if the U-Men will make an appearance.
The U-Men? Yeah,
I don't know. They were like kind of a one-shot thing, weren't they?
Yeah, they were only there for like a couple issues. They haven't really. They could maybe be like, I could see them as being villains of like a single issue, kind of like the way like the Executioner was in the episode 2. They could do that maybe in they'd be good. They'd be an interesting like one episode plot in season 2. No, the U-Men are kind of an unusual usual set of villains. So
That's dead.
yeah, I wouldn't mind them showing up, but yeah, I think in terms of future villains, I think at some point Apocalypse is going to return. Like they already set that up in season 5. But I think, everything is leading to Onslaught. Right now, it's all Onslaught is going to be the big bad. So this guy, he's coming. Yeah, he is coming.
Either that or what was it? Annihilation?
What was it?
Or
Annihilation?
Genesis?
What?
Is it Annihilation or Genesis?
Genesis. You mean that's his wife? That's Apocalypse's wife, actually. Yeah.
Then who's Annihilation?
Annihilus is a Fantastic Four villain.
Yeah. Well, originally, yeah, but he's kind of more of a FF Avengers.
Yeah.
Actually, he's kind of more of an all-around villain now, ever since like the Annihilation Wave.
Yeah. There's also, I don't know if you guys remember this. I think in Beyond Good and Evil, like in season 4 of X-Men '97, there was actually a version of Kang that showed up. I think it was Immortus. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think that's one of the names. Sort of.
Yeah. So I think a version of Kang showed up in that. So maybe a version of Kang is going to show up here, and because if they still want to use Kang in the MCU, even though they've had to fire Jonathan Majors, I don't know. Maybe they'll try that, but honestly, I think I would rather they save Kang for for something else, maybe a later season. But yeah, the less said about the status of Kang in the MCU, the better, because that's such a mess right now.
Sword? No, not Sword. Sword coming into the series would be good as well.
Sword, yeah, with Abigail Brand, she was fun.
I mean, they set up the Shi'ar, so maybe.
Yeah, and plus Abigail Brand, she was in Earth's Mightiest Heroes, Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes. Remember that show?
Yeah, I was going to avoid that because I know you didn't like it.
I love Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes, but it's Avengers Assemble that I don't like.
Yeah, that's the one that they replaced it with. was the inferior one.
Yeah. Yeah. Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes was great. It actually had it referenced mutants, and it also had I think the only animated version of Abigail Brand, who's the leader of SWORD. So I think her showing up after especially after they find out Xavier was with the Shi'ar, I think that's going to set that. I also think that's
going to take a lot of explaining in the series.
It will, yeah.
Well, was he not dead?
Yeah.
They need more than this bit of box to fill it out and tell you.
Yeah.
Oh God, he was adopted. His body was adopted by aliens. Yeah, that will work.
Yeah.
Seems to work much.
Yeah, but I do think we're going to get an Avengers versus X-Men at some point. But if we do, I hope it ends in a way that doesn't suck. Because Avengers versus X-Men, the comic Avengers versus X-Men was, it's what I've already done a video about that. I did a lengthy video essay on how it started strong and how it ended horribly, and how.
Well, we know Rogue can easily win against Captain America. She'll just chuck his shield away somewhere far off planet. I'll never see it again.
Yeah.
But I wonder how long it took him to find that damn thing.
Probably a lot, yeah. Unless he's got unless Tony Stark put like a tracker thing on it. Which he probably.
Captain America
At least you scan for a vibranium.
Or something similar to Thor's hammer.
Yeah.
It returns.
Well, that is one thing I'm kind of like, okay, if I was, say, a member of the Avengers and this all shit was going down, I would just call them out right there in the meeting. Like, okay, are we not doing anything about this?
Yeah.
Like, we're Earth's mightiest heroes, not the U.S.'s mightiest heroes.
Yeah.
Heroes. Like, Tony, you could literally go there with all your resources, help out and rebuild. Cap, we gotta stop this shit now, because this is literally turning into like 1940s Germany here. Like,
yeah, exactly.
You fought this kind of stuff. We need to, like, I don't care if you think like, okay, we gotta do it by the system. The system's already broken here. Like, it's broken down. We need to do something. And if not, well, here's my Avenger card. Snap. I'm gone. I'll do this on my own.
That would make too much sense. That
I would not be able to do it.
Yeah.
Like, I would have to call them out. Like, dude, we have had mutants on our team with Wanda and like PHO. What are we going to tell them? Like, sorry, if it's a mutant problem, it's a mutant problem. It's not our problem. Like, no.
That was the excuse they gave in like the early 2000s when after E is for Extinction happened. There was this period around I think House of M where where they kind of people say, well, why did you weren't there when mutants? It says, hey, our rule has been. It's a mutant problem. We let the mutants take care of it. We'll take care of Hydra. We'll take care of the Serpent Society. We'll take care of the Red Skull, Kang, all of them. Mutants, you do you. And but the thing is it's not working. I think I think no one can deny that this approach does not work. So that leads
because when Scarlet Witch had that breakdown. She's an Avenger, but a mutant, and they can't exactly just say, it's a mutant thing, and then deal with it.
And even after what happened, even after they wanted to hold Wanda accountable, and the only way they could, absolve her was to reveal that Doom had been manipulating her, which, that kind of feels like a cop-out in the sense that, okay, they did not want to have a situation where they had to hold someone accountable for something really bad they did, and so we have to retcon it here. It's kind of like what they did with Jean Grey and the Phoenix. They had to like clone her, or like have the Phoenix take her form so that Jean wasn't the one who committed any atrocities. So that is sort of something that the comics they do a lot to avoid. I would love it if the show tried at least made an attempt to not avoid that, because let's say Wanda actually is the one who says no more mutants. She's the one who's behind the mutants getting depowered. I mean, even if she doesn't kill them, something she should have to do something to hold her to be held accountable. I mean, she got a chance to actually help fix it in Avengers versus X-Men, but even before that, the Avengers went out of their way to bend over backwards to make sure she didn't face anything. But as soon as Cyclops did something, they did not hesitate to throw him in prison. which is a ridiculous, stupid double standard that I don't think they've ever been able to really work around. I can't. There's just no way to square that circle.
Honestly, wasn't the whole thing with they had like Wanda, like basically they were trying to figure out what to do with the X-Men, like they can't, like, okay, what do we do with Wanda, because she just kind of like messed with all the reality here.
Yeah.
And basically negotiations broke down real fast.
Yeah, and that tends to happen, and that's a sign that Marvel kind of didn't want to the writers did not want to confront this sort of thing. And
personally, if I was on the Avengers, I would just say, okay, here's the thing. We'll put her we'll set up a little thing like out in the middle of nowhere, like, a nice little island with a little house. Tony can build it, all that shit for everything, and she'll get like 24/7 mental health.
Yeah,
like we'll get her like some decent doctors to help her get through her issues somewhere safely and out of the way. Like she's not she's kind of under house arrest, but she's not going to prison.
Yeah, because you can't. Yeah, putting her in prison would not help.
You're basically throwing her on an island by herself.
Yeah, or
do something. I said like they would have doctors and stuff to help her out, like
something.
Yeah, the wardens.
Yeah, or at least have her.
She fucked up reality. It's kind of like you can't just like.
Yeah, how do you overlook that? Yeah, how do you negate that?
It's like we need to make sure she's like mentally healthy now.
Yeah,
because she is like a walking weapon of mass destruction now. We can't have her like just completely out of her fucking mind anymore.
Yeah, because that's dangerous. If she warped reality once, she can do it again.
That's something I don't really go into comics. Like you see all these heroes and stuff, like they need mental health help.
Yeah,
we see a lot of bullshit that happens.
Yeah, actually,
we see we go through a lot of trauma, and you think like you're surprised this happened to Wanda? Like she wanted kids, had magically made kids, and then had to magically basically abort them in a way. Just to kill them.
Yeah, think that's not going to traumatize someone? You think that's not going to traumatize them?
Yeah.
Yeah. The only show that I think really, that really kind of, embraced that is Invincible. Like Invincible did not hide from the trauma.
Young Justice did that too.
Yeah.
This way was in therapy.
Yep.
That makes sense. Yeah. Okay. But I do feel like, Invincible was both the comic and the show do a really good job of, showing, hey, this is kind of a traumatizing thing, being a hero. And we're gonna try to make a video about that at some point. But yeah, Invincible kind of, it tackled the things that other comics avoid, which I think is part of what makes it so good.
I'm a little pissed off that Invincible can't do the Spider-Man crossover. They're just doing some generic like Spider-Man powered guy to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's because Invincible, he did cross over with Spider-Man in the comics at one point, but I just think they couldn't get the rights because it's an Amazon show and they're not gonna they're making Disney. Yeah.
Oh, also Afro asked about like if Kang met the X-Men, and I just wanted to bring up like yes,
he did
at least once, because I know they went in past to try and deal with Apocalypse. And during that time, Kang was the Pharaoh at that time.
Yeah,
and that's
Rama
how
Tut.
they kind of first met.
A version of Kang is called Rama Tut. And he was he does have ties to Apocalypse. I think he was the one who saw Apocalypse kind of emerge from Egypt, and he played
he knew about Apocalypse. He's like, I gotta get this guy on my side, and it kind of fucked up.
Yeah, he did mess up a lot. I think Apocalypse kind of, if anything, Kang kind of emboldened Apocalypse.
It pretty much became like a self-fulfilling prophecy in a way. Like, it's like one of those Ouroboros kind of things where like, okay, like, oh, I'm going to do this to make it happen, or not make it happen this way, but by doing it, I made it happen that way.
Yeah, that happens a lot with Kang and his variants. Even when they don't want to become him, they eventually become him.
Yeah, so much for that master of time travel bullshit.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's what I always found funny. You're a master of time, but you can't seem to, get out of your own way. It's funny. It's funny, and it's kind of shows how how kind of Kang's character can be a bit limited. And
it wasn't all the X-Men. I think it was just like Scott, Jean, and one other person maybe.
Was it?
They were like time traveling, so it wasn't the full team. It was just like a small set of them.
Was it Cable or Bishop? I think Bishop was one of them.
Could have been, maybe. I don't know. I have to double check. It's been a while since I've read that part.
the X-Men have dealt with Kang. There's very few Marvel
Yeah,
characters Kang hasn't dealt with. I mean, in a recent, he had this recent solo series where he tried to, where he clashed with Doctor Doom, and it's interesting how those two interact because because those two it's like they have a respect for each other, but they also think both of their approaches are wrong. Like Doom thinks, he's not.
I can only imagine. I can't even think of how the room just handles both of their egos in the same
No,
room.
it really it cannot work. But those two are, no matter even if they have a similar agenda, they will never work together. Like they could never work together in any capacity without eventually turning on each other. Their egos will not allow it. So yeah. Yeah, maybe it'll be interesting to see because Doctor Doom's going to come to the MCU at some point, and it would be interesting to see how if at any point there's any interaction between Kang and Doom, because I could totally see something like the Avengers, the Kang Dynasty ending with Doctor Doom showing up at the end or something, or. It kind of depends on how.
I don't know what the hell they're gonna do now. It's like it's just a mess right now. It seems.
Yeah.
It's like I heard all the things like how they basically had to reshoot the entire new Captain America movie. And it's like, oh boy,
Yeah.
you really guys have no idea what you're doing if you have to reshoot practically an entire movie by scratch.
Yeah. Well, I think they've seen what's been working and what hasn't been working. Like they saw Guardians of the Galaxy 3 worked. The Marvels didn't work. But they've also they've seen Spider-Man No Way Home work. So there is I think they're trying to just they don't seem to know what they're building towards anymore, and
Nope.
They don't know where they're going.
And I feel like once they have someone like Doctor Doom on the field, I think maybe that will help, and having X-Men in the field will help.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not too sure about the Fantastic Four movie because, like, one, it's not in the MCU proper. It's like some alternate timeline where they've been the Fantastic Four for years, apparently, because it takes place in like 60s or something.
Well, that's when the Fantastic Four debuted, 63.
So I'm like, okay, you're kind of starting off in a whole new universe, and then what? You're gonna make them just come to the MCU? That seems kind of lazy.
I think that I actually think it works better than them basically trying to retell the same Fantastic Four story they've done twice. Like I think setting them up in a different time, having them just
personally, I would just do just follow the thing. Like if they go in space, get the powers, okay, and then instead of like fighting Doctor Doom, like they have like what 3 times already.
not
Just
only
have
twice.
like someone like the Mole Man show up and have like giant kaiju fight in fucking downtown New York.
Yeah, they could do. Yeah, because actually, from what I don't think Doctor Doom's going to be in this upcoming Fantastic Four movie.
Or the Inhumans.
Or the Inhumans. Yeah. If they want to fight the Inhumans, they have my blessing. I guarantee you, most X-Men fans still don't like the Inhumans, even though it's been many years.
I don't even know if they even have the Inhuman TV show as even canon anymore.
I don't think they do. No, I'm pretty sure Marvel
I
and
think
Disney.
all their TV shows are no longer canon.
Yeah. Oh, Afro said it was 1961 when the Fantastic Four was released. So yeah, I like the idea of them just kind of starting off in the 60s, kind of have that the 60s aesthetic, and then them having to venture to a new universe, like maybe their universe gets destroyed in an incursion or something. Or
Firestar need to make an appearance.
Who?
Firestar.
Firestar?
Nope.
I
They're
don't think
doing a female Silver Surfer.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I think we don't know who the villain's going to be. Like I think some guy got cast recently.
I think they did say Galactus. Because they did cast a female Silver Surfer.
Yeah, and then I think they have like a guy, and I think it was Javier Bardem is going to be like Galactus. So, well, I think maybe that's. I think I know we're kind of getting off topic.
I need to see the trailer though. Make it I feel like until I see the trailer, I'll make my mind up on that.
Yeah, that sounds about right. There's a whole lot we don't know. I do like some of the casting. I think they've got a fairly good they've got a decent cast, but it kind of comes down to how is this movie going to set itself apart from like the early 2000s and the ill-fated 2015 movie that never ever had a chance and was just so misguided in so many ways.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to get too much into why that movie failed, but that movie was never going to succeed. Just never.
No, it wasn't. Like, even I think we talked about this once where I was like, what I would have done instead of like having Doom, I would have had it like where all four of them, because Sue never went into that that alternate universe kind of thing, and somehow she got powers.
Yeah,
which was dumb.
Somehow,
but all of them go in there, they get the powers and stuff. But the fifth member was that Mortimer guy who eventually stays behind and becomes like the Mole Man, where he becomes somehow his power is basically to like summon up all the monsters in this universe, and like would have like just started like made his own device to go back into their universe and like invade, because he felt like he was like left, like he's this guy who's always been made fun of and stuff, and like he felt like he got left behind to die, and now this is his revenge. That would have worked better, I feel.
I agree. Yeah, I think that would have worked a lot better. But again, I think they wanted to use Doom because they thought that would be a bigger draw. I mean, they think Doom's a bigger draw than Mole Man, but if you get him wrong, it doesn't work.
Oh, and they got him so wrong. Like, what the hell was that? Like, he looked like
a hacker
poured like melted mercury over a person with glowing green eyes. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh. And then he was like, super powerful. Like, he just like looks at someone and they just evaporate. And then yet when he fights the heroes, he doesn't do that.
I know exactly. Like there was no consistency, and I don't really. I don't know what I get the sense that when they did the reshoots,
Doom was actually added in. Yeah, I think Doom was added in like last minute because like they realized like, oh shit, we need like a villain character.
Yeah. There's so many things went wrong with that movie. It's just hard to put into words. And if they're going to do Doctor Doom in the MCU, they cannot. It can't just be a Fantastic Four villain, because in the comics he's by far one of their biggest threats. Like he has literally become like a capital G god. At one point, he has taken over the multiverse. He has laid waste to Wakanda. He tanked. He won. He beat the Thanos with one punch.
He's gone up against cosmic entities.
Yeah, and he's stolen both the power cosmic and the Beyonders' powers. And he's this is someone who you need more than just the Fantastic Four to stop him at this point. He's Marvel's greatest villain by a wide margin. And I think if they don't find a way to set him up, like I'm not sure if they can put him in Secret Wars. But I would like it if after Secret Wars they kind of said Doom is will kind of lead toward maybe like an Avengers Doom War. Like, I don't know if you guys remember Doom War from the early 2000s when he stole all the vibranium in Wakanda. And that would definitely be he did that. Doom War, look it up.
I have to see how he did that, because that seems like vibranium is literally everywhere.
Yeah.
Unless it was just like the giant asteroid that
that's what he stole.
Mining it from.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that makes more sense.
Yeah, that's what he stole, and that's what
all the buildings are probably made out of vibranium. Yeah. Like, did he steal like every single piece of technology and stuff? Like, how the hell does that work? But if he stole the massive asteroid, that makes more sense. Yeah.
Also, the other interesting thing about that comic, the Doom War, that was also the comic where Bast, the Panther God, essentially conceded that there is only one future. There's only one timeline in the Marvel universe. Yeah, there's only one timeline in the Marvel universe where humanity is free of want and suffering, and it's the timeline when Doom is the ruler. So that's something that I really hope they kind of toy with, because if let's say the Avengers or the X-Men, they all find out, hey, look, there's only one timeline where there's no want and suffering, and it's when this asshole is the leader. So either we're the villains because we're preventing it from happening, or we're not doing enough to create a different timeline. So that I think should be, if they're going to have if there's going to learn anything from the multiverse saga, they should learn that. They should learn, hey, we're fighting all these villains, and we're preserving we're keeping the world intact, but are we really making it better? are we really helping, end want and suffering? And if it's at a point where the only future where that happens is someone where Doctor Doom takes over, then we're not doing enough. We got to do something more. I don't know what that is, but they need to do something. So that's my thought. Oh yeah, Doctor Doom 2099 is cool too. Afro, yeah, good. Thanks for bringing that up.
Oh yeah, I remember him. He actually did become president in that, didn't he?
Yeah, like he had full access to the Darkhold, and that. And
although I don't know if it ever actually explained if it was actually Victor in that or not. I think they kind of
kept that vague. I think, because it's interesting because in the new Ultimate Universe there is Doctor Doom, but it's not Victor, it's Reed. So,
what were Doctor Doom's origins anyway?
Basically, his mom was he was part of a gypsy group, and his mom was kind of a witch.
Yes,
who
she was a witch.
Her soul to the devil for I forget why.
More power.
He came to collect. Somehow he ended up basically someone going to the U.S. with like full college.
Yes,
university. I don't know how he afforded that, but okay.
Well, actually,
basically
read the comic books of Doom.
Yeah, basically, I'm just kind of going through it real quickly. Basically, he went to college, met Reed, got into a little accident, which turns out to be Ben who did it.
Yeah, it was his fault.
Made a little scar on his face, completely flipped out. By the way, the device was basically him trying to look into hell for his mother's soul. And then he went to like some Tibetan place and made the Doom armor, and while it was glowing red hot, pressed it into his face, basically scarring him even more. To find okay, I guess I'm not perfect anymore, so it doesn't matter what I do.
Yeah.
And then went back to Latveria, and with his genius and everything, just literally took over the country.
Yeah, he did it pretty easily too. In fact, he killed the Baron with his bare hands, like the ruler of the country. He literally just walked up to him, choked him to death. Didn't use any magic, didn't use any powers. He just choked him. So yeah, that's what Doom is capable of. But yeah, if you want to check it out, read the book. There's a mini series called Book of Doom. It's a 4-issue mini series that kind of tells Doctor Doom's origins, and this comes back.
Thing is, even though he was going to the university for a doctorate, he never finished, so he's not actually a doctor.
Yeah, well, he did just give himself a Latvian doctorate when he took over the country.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So technically, he is. I mean,
there's a lot of stories of Americans claiming things that they really aren't.
Oh, don't look at me, I'm Canadian.
Like Lord Kelvin, he's not really a lord.
No. Yeah, well, as the only American on this stream, I can say, we are arrogant pricks. We always have been. We always have been. Yeah, I have no excuses for my country anymore. I love my country, but I can't make any excuses for it. I'm tired of making excuses for it.
I'm still, yeah.
But yeah, I don't want to get into that. So, but yeah, definitely check out Books of Doom. That's a really good miniseries that talks about Doctor Doom, and also Doom. This kind of brings back to what we were talking about earlier with Palpatine. In that same book, and even going back to the Stan Lee, Jack Kirby era, Doctor Doom shows he does really care about his people, because he was born at the absolute bottom rung of society. I mean, his family were traveling gypsies. They were constantly being harassed. He grew up in abject poverty. He was not born to nobility at all. He had to make everything he achieved. He had to basically do it himself. And when he became ruler of Latveria, I mean, his people actually, they love him, and the only reason they actually rebel against him is because of a deal he made with Mephisto. I think in the same comic that I referenced, Mephisto basically started giving. He says, "You'll have a chance to save your mother's soul, but every time you fail, your people will hate you even more." And Doom accepted that. Now, eventually, he is able to save his mother's soul, but he kind of,
these people absolutely love him. Then,
yeah. He kind of it's kind of like he kind of gambled he was eventually going to beat Mephisto, and he eventually did. He did actually save his mother's soul. Yeah, he did need help from Doctor Strange, But he did eventually succeed in besting Mephisto, and that's not something a lot of people in the Marvel universe can say. And but yeah, even without Mephisto's influence, his Doom's people do tend to love him. Oh yeah, actually, I remember. Yeah, Afro, I remember that story too, where he used the Purple Man to take over the world, and that's also another great story because Doctor Doom is one of the few individuals who can actually resist the Purple Man's influence, and even without any like technology, even without any psychic abilities, he's one of the very very few who can just by sheer force of will.
I figured his armor just like is capable of like filtering out the pheromones.
Well, he is, but actually, in that comic that Afro mentioned, he takes his mask off, which he almost never does. Looked at the Purple Man, and the Purple Man still couldn't control him. It was sheer force of will. Purple Man, he's like he's Kilgrave, the guy from Jessica Jones. He's the guy who does all the manipulation and mind control. So, yeah, like the Purple Man, his powers, he's very OP when it comes to controlling people, and of the very few individuals are able to resist, Doctor Doom is one of those very few. And that's another thing that kind of makes him so powerful. He's also been able to resist mental manipulation from Charles Xavier, from Emma Frost, from Jean Grey, even when she's had the Phoenix. So yeah, he can resist psychics, and even if he doesn't have his tech, which he probably uses anyway.
Is it all to do with magic? Probably is.
Maybe, yeah. But yeah, Doctor Doom has that. His mind cannot be broke. Even Emma Frost has said she doesn't think anyone could ever break his mental shields.
The guy once went from like prehistoric era or something and had like basically long way. He had to take the long way back to present.
Yeah, he literally just waited.
Kind of immortal now.
Yeah, he's basically kind of
He's basically. Like, I think through sorcery, he made himself kind of immortal, so he basically just had to wait it out for a few thousand years or something.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's just...
If I was that old, I'd probably forget how old I am.
I don't think Doom cares how old he is. Yeah, he's like... But yeah, we could probably have a whole stream about Doctor Doom. Yeah. Yeah, Doctor even played a role in one of the recent X-Men comics. Apparently, he has his own mutant group, too. But but Doom has never taken a side when it comes to mutants or anything like that. And even though there are some mutants in Latveria, he doesn't really seem to.
Well, he was the first to identify the Skull invasion. Something was wrong there, didn't he?
Yeah, he was one of the very few who could do that. But I think he did that mostly to show off. Like, I think even in like Avengers: Earth's Mightiest Heroes, he was like, he's not going to fight them because it's beneath him. He knows that. Why would he do it when he knows the Avengers are going to take care of it anyway? So that's called working smarter and not harder. So, yeah, that's why Doom is one of the best villains, and that's something. Yeah, he also kind of will walk a fine line. Yeah, what was that?
I always felt Doom was like also kind of cool, just because like he has his arrogance about, but he can back it up.
Yes, he can.
Like. He's the kind of guy like, yeah, I know I'm great, and you will bow down before me, or I will kick your ass and make you bow down before me.
Yeah, and
I will make you acknowledge my greatness.
And he does, like,
Doom does not take orders.
Yeah,
Doom gives orders.
Yeah. Plus, didn't he took a punch in the face from the Hulk in like Earth's Mightiest Heroes, did not even barely flinch, and then punched the Hulk out of his castle. Like the only thing that did is ruffle his hood. Like,
oh come on, that sounds like Gladiator.
No, check it out. Look up the clip. I promise you, he has actually done that to the Hulk. He took a punch from the Hulk, then punched the Hulk so hard he knocked him out of a castle. And all it did was ruffle his cowl, and that's all that seemed to bother him. So yeah,
come on, there's got to be some hocus pocus right behind that.
Yeah. Doctor Doom in Earth's Mightiest Heroes, he only showed up for maybe like 5 minutes, but in those 5 minutes, he was just an absolute force. Like, he beat the Fantastic Four and the Avengers without breaking a sweat. He literally just said, "Get out of my." He says, "You're on Latverian soil. Leave right now." That's it.
Yeah.
He didn't
start an international crisis.
Yeah, they did leave. But Doom just kind of, he made it clear that he could have done so much worse to them if they had tried to stay and fight him. But he didn't because he's a guy, he works smarter and not harder. So yeah, I think it would have been much. I think I bet if Marvel had the rights to Doom, like imagine if in that first scene of Avengers: Age of Ultron, that castle they're storming is Doom. How much more awesome would that have been? They try to take on Doom, and Doom is like, "Oh, please."
Oh God, can you imagine if Doom and Hydra or Zemo had made an alliance? Ooh.
That alliance would never last. But then again, Zemo is not on the same level as Doom. Yeah, Zemo's cunning, but he is basically just a super soldier for Hydra.
Is he immortal or just slowly aging?
I think he got there were some experiments done. He did some, like, I think Armin Zola did experiments on him to make him. I don't think he's immortal in the same way that Wolverine or the same way of there's a bunch of, I don't know what the story is with Zemo, but yeah, he is old. I think he got like a version of the super soldier serum similar to what the Red Skull got. So correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah. So I will Zemo he's a good villain, but he's not on the same level as Doom.
No.
Not even close. So, but I think
he was that generation of Hitler.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow.
Yeah, but I do think I think that when X-Men 97, when Doom kind of made that comment, says don't mistake my collusion for approval. Like Doom is he does have standards, which is surprising. If you if you do something that he finds really repugnant, he will call you out. And remember, he was born to gypsy peasants. He really does. He knows what it's like to be a vulnerable and being a target. So that's kind of why I think he doesn't really tend to wage a lot of war with mutants, or why he doesn't tend to get involved. But I'd be surprised if maybe
makes his alliance with Bastion in 97 kind of questionable then.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm sure he's got his reasons. Like Bastion,
protect Latveria.
Yeah, that's kind of if he does care about Latveria. If Bastion,
or he wants the technology himself.
Yeah, or he wants he wants the X-Men off the board for some reason. Like that is something Doom has been willing to do in the comics. Says I don't need to deal with them. I don't care what you do, just keep them occupied. So, he did
Doom see in the future, he do something together, and he doesn't want to interrupt that future because it benefits him in the future.
Yeah, he does have a time machine, and he's certainly if he knows what's going to happen with Bastion, and he knows it's going to play out against him, he probably doesn't want to get in his way. Like if Bastion was going to succeed, Doom would probably stop him, because he would not let anyone other than himself take over the world. He's not going to let that future come to pass where Bastion is ruling over everything. So that is almost a certainty. So, all right, guys, we've almost been going for 3 hours now, if you can believe it.
Yeah, I was about to say, gotta get a little bit of a gotta start my dinner. So
okay, yeah, sorry for keeping you for so long, guys, but thank you very much. It was another fun, productive conversation. This was I always enjoy this. So I can't do a stream next week, but I am going to try to do one after the 97 finale. So Warlon, if you're still in the chat, I might bring you on. G, Thunder, be happy to welcome you on. So we'll I'll let you know when we can make that happen. So thanks a lot, everyone. Yeah, thanks. Have a happy Star Wars Day to everyone. G, again, G, I'll leave a link to your Twitch stream in my in the description. Right, and then may the 4th be with you all, everyone. All right.
Hey, that's copyright.
Oh, well, hope I don't get a strike. All right. Thanks, everyone. Until next time, check out my YouTube channel, like, comment, subscribe, and